Hello once again to my fellow shed talkers, or shall I say, shed listeners. Yeah, shed listeners. I'm the shed talker. Y'all are the shed listeners. But welcome back, episode 2. To all the haters who said we'd only be a one-hit wonder. We might be, I'm not gonna lie. I'm here for episode 2, but it might just be a one-hit wonder. This one might flop. Or I might get canceled. Either way. But we got a little mixed drink. I was able to fit it into the caloric intake for the day. I can't go over on the calories during the week. We save those for the weekend. Try to stay under a certain amount during the week, and then on the weekends we go crazy. Especially, so it feels great saying this. Football is back this weekend. Now, okay, there's whispers in my fan saying that it was back last weekend, Armageddon, week 0. It okay, you can have it. Did I watch? You bet your ass I did. I mean, come on, it's not even a question. But it was one big game. Iowa State, Kansas State. I had Iowa State. Thank God they won. They pulled it out at the end. It was very ugly, but it's to be expected. Both offenses struggled. You're overseas. The field in Ireland, in Dublin, was, how do I say it politely? Absolutely dog shit. I mean, you couldn't. They didn't have the line of scrimmage and a blue line when you're watching on the TV. They should put that in real life too. The line of scrimmage, you know what I mean? So in the stands, I'm just kidding. Um, I'm half kidding actually. I think it would help some of the casual fans. Um, but they didn't have the line of scrimmage. I think on the broadcast, they didn't have like the first down, like the yards to go. Um, it was crap. I mean, how do you have all off season to prepare for that and you still fold it? And then on top of that, all of the white lines, the dash mark, the tick marks in between, every 5-10 yards, those lines, they weren't there. I mean, it was like, it was faded. It literally looked like it was a JV game in the middle of like July. I mean, it was ridiculous. But nevertheless, football's back. I say officially back this weekend because this is week 1 and everybody plays in college, so it's exciting. I think actually, I don't know if Iowa State, Kansas State plays. All the week 0 teams, I don't know if they play this week. Regardless, I'm rambling here, but week 1, it's a great day. Saturday's gonna be great. That's why I got Florida coming. I got a little mixed drink poured in it. Per Joel at work, he was gracious enough was nice enough to grace me with his presence in terms of watching episode 1, and he asked today if I was going to be drinking again when I recorded tonight. And I try not to drink during the week, but he said, look, I set the precedent in episode 1. I had a couple Millers, and he said, I think you kind of set the precedent. You have to. And I said, okay. I said, look, we can work with it. We can work it into our caloric intake. So we have a little mixed drink. It's a little tequila mixed with some zero sugar soda, Gatorade Zero, the Glacier Freeze, because that is the best flavor, the blue. Debate a wall. And the wall's still gonna win. Actually, you can debate a wall on the best Gatorade flavor / color, and the wall's somehow still gonna win. He's not even gonna need to say a word because he won't. Because walls don't talk, except to me. The walls talk to me. We're gonna move on. That's like episode 17. Maybe we'll touch on that. Regardless, we're gonna take a sip. And for all the parents or my parents watching, or little kids, that's just water. Promise. It's 9:30 at night. Well, I hope you guys all had a great weekend. I don't know when you watched it. If you did, maybe it was on the weekend. Maybe it was yesterday, Monday. Maybe it's today. Today's Tuesday, August 26th. In Florida time, it is 9:20 p.m. So that means if you're in California, which is kind of crazy if we reach that far, it's only 6:20. We'll math for you guys. 3 hours behind us. But we're going to talk a lot of football. We're going to talk a lot of college ball. Today was a big day, NFL, a lot of roster cuts, trimming down the roster to the 53s, so that's pretty exciting for all those fans that like to keep up with that. Myself, Jags fan, unfortunately. This is our year, though. But honestly, it's college football, man. I'm a big Florida fan, as you could tell by the cup. They got a cupcake this week in Long Island University. There was a picture kind of floating around social media, kind of went a little viral in the college football like fandom world. For the fans that aren't, that well versed in football rosters, they typically have, I think, 85 players on scholarship. Um, and that includes also like probably 15 to 20 walk-ons, maybe even more, like scout team guys. I think those bigger schools probably have a lot more. So you're looking at 85 guys on scholarship that can dress and play. I think the Long Island picture had like 50. Like it was for a Division One school. It was kind of crazy. It's sad for those players because it's like they got to stay on the field the whole game. There's not many backups. I mean, a lot of those guys might be redshirt as well. But regardless, Florida should win by a lot. I'm gonna watch that game a little bit, but I'm more concerned with all the big game matchups. We got a lot of big games. My buddy Joel will be in attendance. LSU visits Clemson. Which one's the real Death Valley? Hint: it's Clemson. I hate LSU. Clemson's the real Death Valley. They're gonna prove it on Saturday. That's my prediction. LSU's good. Look, I'm an LSU hater because they're in the SEC. They're one of Florida's rivals. Florida beat them last year, and I didn't think Florida was that good. They peaked late, but I'm not buying the hype, man. Like Nussmeier he's a Heisman candidate. I just don't see it. I think he's really good, but I think he's just not a game manager, but I don't think he hasn't shown that he's got that dog in him, that DAWG dog. And if he shows it on Saturday, then, LSU may win. But I don't know, man. I'm just saying, I think Clemson's got it on Saturday. I really do. I'm not get too ahead of myself. College football this week starts Thursday. And we got a ranked team, a couple ranked teams play. I think just one, actually. One plays Thursday, and then Illinois, number 12 in the country, plays Friday. So that'd be pretty cool. But Boise State travels all the way down here to Florida. They're going down to Tampa to play University of South Florida, who last season they were a fun team. They took it. They brought it to Bama. I think the first three quarters, either South Florida was either winning or like trailing. It was either tied, they were winning, or regardless, it was within a one possession game. And then I think Bama pulled away late. The final score doesn't really tell the whole story. South Florida, that's a fun team. And Boise State, the lifeline of that offense was Ashton Jeanty, and he's gone. I don't know if you're aware, living under a rock, maybe Patrick Starr, but he's on the Raiders. And I was looking today. I was cooking up a parlay actually for the Thursday games. I put a 13-leg parlay. 12 of them were money lines, and one was a spread. So we're playing it. I say ultra safe for the people that aren't watching the YouTube version, the video version. I put air quotes around safe, because anytime you play it safe, it never works. I don't know how. Maybe it's just me. But I think the only spread I took was Wisconsin minus 17 against Miami of Ohio. Wisconsin's got a tough schedule, so I think they're going to try to put it on them, try to lay it on them early. But regardless, I was looking it up, and Boise State, they return a lot of their offensive linemen from last year, so they may still be good, but I think they're going to take a step back without Jeanty. South Florida, that could be a sneaky, I think sneaky come down to the wire on Thursday, and so I'm just saying, you get your sweet bippy, I'm going to be tuning into that one. It says 5:30 p.m., which is kind of ridiculous. Why is a game at South Florida on a Thursday night starting at 5:30? What are we doing here? Huh? ESPN. I'm looking at ESPN, but what are we doing here? Why is a game at South Florida, first game of the season, Thursday night, a ranked team is coming to town, and we're gonna say, you know what? 5:30 is a great time. Yeah, dude, let's just let nobody get there because of rush hour traffic. Think of the freaking dad trying to take his son to a football game. He's got to leave work, and he's stuck in Tampa traffic trying to get to Raymond James Stadium. What are we doing here, dude? 5:30 p.m. on a Thursday? Oh, were they smoking crack when they made the schedule? This is ridiculous. Now I'm getting heated thinking about this. This is crazy. A ranked team coming to town that made the college football playoffs last year. I'm getting out of breath thinking about this. And you started at 5:30 on Thursday. Whatever. We're getting too hung up on this. We're rambling about a Thursday start time. It's valid still. If we're gonna keep, let's stay on the start time topic. Um, I'm not a fan of the big noon kickoff. I know I listen to Josh Pate, the Josh Pate Show. He's a very big college football mind, big college football podcast. He enjoys it because he enjoys the noon kickoffs if that's the game he's traveling to every week because he gets home that night. And you know what? I understand. He's got a loving wife, maybe a family. I don't really know. I know he's got a wife, but I understand that. You get home still at a decent hour and you can still enjoy your rest of your Saturday night and Sunday. But I don't know if you know what he looks like, but newsflash, I'm not Josh Pate. I'm some random drunken fan. And you're telling me the number one team in the country is playing the number three. Let's switch it around for the future. Number one team is playing the number three team in the country. And we got it at noon? Big noon? You're telling me game day is going to be ending and this game's kicking off? I mean, come on, man. I get it, dude. I get it. The Big Ten and Fox, they don't want to, compete with all the SEC and ACC primetime games and even Big 12 to a certain extent. But dude, come on, number one versus number three. It's just crazy. But now I will say, I read, this was a couple months back. This was, peak, prime off season, college off season. I did read an article that said, Fox, I believe, gave Ohio State the green flag to flex it, I think, to 7 o'clock or maybe a primetime game. And Ohio State said yes, but Texas said no. They wanted to keep it at noon. And so I'm just saying that's like I threw a wrench into things. That thing just came flying. Good Lord, what the hell threw that wrench? It throws a wrench into things. If Texas, preseason number one team in the country, I don't really see why. I mean, yeah, I get the Arch Manning hype, but like preseason number one, you didn't even make the national championship last year. The national champions are number three. I mean, I'm getting worked up already, and we're like 10 minutes into this thing. I got a lot to talk about, and I'm getting hung up on freaking the Boise State Broncos 5:30 start time against the Bulls of South Florida. I mean, oh my God. But I mean, seriously, what are you scared of? Are you really scared of the horseshoe at night, like 7 p.m.? If that's the case, you know, I don't even know. Kudos to you for like admitting it, basically, by not admitting it, by saying like, no, we want to stay at the 12 o'clock. We want to be out of there by the time the sun goes down. When the sun goes down, and no matter time. That's not the lyrics, but whatever. I mean, maybe I feel like that might actually be like Steve Sarkisian backhand saying like, "Hey, we don't want to play there at prime time. I want to play them first game of the season, 12 o'clock noon. Maybe they're not woken up. Maybe the crowd isn't as ruckus as it should be." But newsflash, Steve, they are going to be ruckus. College Game Day is going to be there. Lee Corso's last ever headgear picking, last ever College Game Day show. That crowd's going to be hammered at 9 in the morning. Are you an idiot? I mean, Steve Sarkisian might be hammered at 9 in the morning. I wouldn't blame him. But I don't know. Again, overall, I'm not a fan of the noon kickoff. I do appreciate that in this case, and as the season, we get into the dog days of the season, when there's a big Big Ten matchup, big in quotes, Big Ten matchup. I'm not saying double big as in big. When there's a significant Big Ten matchup, I do appreciate that there is a good game at noon. So it's like, if you're a game day, like a college game day watcher, once it cuts off at noon, it's not like you got, on ESPN, it's not like you got Iowa versus freaking Maryland, and the over-under is like 16 and a half. And those 16 points are going to be coming from Iowa's defense. You know what I mean? It's not like you're going to get super hype off College Game Day. Lee Corso makes the best headgear pick of all time. Like, he shocks the whole crowd. Or Pat McAfee does his whole get the Georgia crowd rambling up in the SEC championship and then pick Alabama. And then 12 o'clock comes around, you're like, I'm watching Iowa go 3 and out every freaking drive. I mean, what are we doing? I do appreciate that. So it kind of, it does space out. You got good games all day. I just don't appreciate that there's a top 5, like 3 matchup, if you want to get particular, a top 3 matchup, and it's at noon. It's at 9 a.m. for people in California. Now, I will say, not a West Coast guy. I went out to California last year to see my brother. He lives in California. Beautiful scenery. It is beautiful scenery. We went and saw where the Halloween movies were filmed. I'm not gonna lie, I had turned 20. My birthday was actually when we flew out there, so like I turned 25 when we were out there. Not gonna lie, I thought the movies were actually filmed in Indiana. I think I think the settings was Hawkinsville, maybe. Oh no, that's Hawkins is in Stranger Things, you idiot. Oh, what is the city in Halloween? It's somewhere in Indiana. I know it is. I'm gonna look it up. Y'all ain't gonna see my phone. This is gonna be like high school all over again. Sneak it on my phone while during class. Hopefully the teacher doesn't see. But let's hit up the old Googleinator. And I know the first result um is gonna be the stupid AI overview answer. And usually I'm not a fan. I hate it, um but I'm gonna actually be appreciative of it because I don't need to. I'm trying to save some time here, eliminate some dead air. But where were the Halloween films based on? Haddonfield, Illinois. I was on the right track. In HA, an HA city name, but I knew right away Hawkins was Stranger, which hey, by the way, comes out last season comes out Thanksgiving. Um, Haddonfield, but getting back on track, we're rambling a lot this episode. One, I get to my second episode. And I think I can just talk about whatever I want, and people are gonna listen. What is this, like a podcast or something? Not a podcast. We're a talk show. So if you're ever talking to your buddies or your friends, your girlfriends, your boyfriends, I don't really care who. Maybe it's just a friends with benefits thing. Tell them all. Tell everybody. Not a podcast. It's a fucking talk show. Okay, we're a talk show here. The talk show about nothing. Actually, I think in one of my names I did say the podcast about Netflix, but that's okay. But we're on the right track. But I had to take another sip. Regardless, went and saw where the Halloween movies were filmed. Actually, we saw the neighborhood that they were filmed in, all the houses, and the infamous scene from the first Halloween movie where it's like there's the big bush, the big hedge, and Jamie Lee Curtis turns around and she sees Michael Myers just like standing there, like around the bush. She looks away and she looks back and he's gone. We recreated that. We did. I was Michael Myers. No knife. But forgot where I was going for a second. I got so deep into that off track story. But I will say, if there's a big noon kickoff, like a big noon game, football season is probably the only like time where I think I would want to live out west. I like it here in Florida, but if you're gonna sit here and tell me that for 4 to 6 months out of the year, maybe not 6 months, about 4 to 6 months out of the year, I get to wake up every Saturday and Sunday, and you're telling me that I drink a cup of coffee, maybe hit up the grocery store really early with all the older folks, all the senior citizens, go hit up like Walmart at 7:30 in the morning, come home, and on the weekends, college football starting at Saturday, and NFL starting at 10 a.m. on Sunday, and then when there's a London game in the NFL, I'm starting at 6 or 6:30. I can't remember what time. Like, oh my god, dude, that's the life, dude. Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, they got the West Coastians, West Coasters. I know I got my drink on a coaster. I can't call them coasters. I'm gonna call them West Coastians. West Coast Indians. I like that one. West Coast Indians. During football season, the West Coast Indians have it freaking made. I mean, you literally have football all day. The last game probably ends around 9 or 10 o'clock at night. So you're set. You can still go to bed at a respectable time, a reasonable time, and not wake up for work the next day completely, dragging. And being like, oh, what happened? Stayed up till 2 a.m. watching the game again? Yeah, Bob, I did. Now, you gonna write off so I can mourn in peace because I got no more college football till next weekend? Wrong. Maction starts on Tuesday night soon, baby. Let's go. Back to college football. The MAC conference, MAC, I have a lot of it. You could be mainstream and give your week one games to watch. And look, LSU Clemson's going to be on there. Texas Ohio State's going to be on there. There's Miami or Notre Dame travels to Miami. They're going to be on there. Alabama at Florida State. A lot of people aren't really giving that game credit. I think that game's going to be really close. I'm a Florida State hater. I actually think that game's going to be pretty freaking close. At least for a while. Maybe late one team pulls away, and that team would be Alabama to pull away. But I don't know. Like both teams starting new quarterbacks. And I think no, not Alabama's not starting true freshman. There's some Ty Simpson, and I think he might be like a redshirt freshman or a redshirt sophomore. Something like. Regardless, not a lot of experience. But I think that game's gonna be close. But there's still and there's another one that I'm missing. I'm trying to scroll through ESPN, and the ESPN on the laptop, the desktop version doesn't have that filter to only filter for top 25 matchups. Which, not gonna lie, big miss right there. You can do it on the phone on the app. Can't do it on the computer. I mean, what are we doing here, Espen? I gotta reach out to the powers that be at ESPN. Um, that's what it is. Saturday, you've got LSU, Clemson, Ohio State, or Texas, Ohio State, and Alabama, Florida State. Sunday night, Notre Dame, Miami. Monday night, completely overlooked. TCU at Notre Dame, or TCU at North Carolina. Now, people are thinking both those teams kind of stunk last year. Who cares? Bill Belichick, his 24-year-old girlfriend or fiance or daughter, granddaughter, whatever the hell she is. Like, I don't. Okay, that's actually bad. I can't say that. Girlfriend. It's her girlfriend. They're making their debut at North Carolina. It's a big game. Monday night, Labor Day weekend. Like, come on. We got good games all weekend. But I could be mainstream and say all that. Like, I'm looking forward to see Bill's first game as a college head coach. I'm looking forward to see all these top 5 matchups, top 10 matchups. And would I be lying if I said I wasn't looking forward to it? Yes, I would be lying. I'm very much looking forward to it. But I came up with a couple games that I think might be more entertaining in their own ways. I put these 4 games together. I called them my 4 drinking game matchups this weekend. So if you're at like a get together or a party, or if you're alone and you just want to drink by yourself, hey, no fault there. I'm doing it right now on a Tuesday night. It's just one though. It's just one. I'm going to give you these 4 games should be drinking game matchups, or if you just really love ball and want to see what I think is going to be some really close games. Let me give it to you. Number 1, Kent State versus Merrimack. Now, Kent State, the Flashers, they're in the FBS. They're in the MAC conference. Merrimack is an FCS team. I haven't looked at Hard Rock. I don't even know if there are lines on this game. Merrimack might be favored, even as an FCS team. It's very dark times for Kent State. They went 0-12 last year, and their over/under for wins this year is 1.5. And I guarantee you that 1.5. This game is really banking. This game's really influencing that 1.5. I think. So I think if they're not able to pull this game out, that over/under might drop to 0.5. Not gonna lie. That game interesting in its own ways. I wish I had more information on these games, but I don't. But they kind of explain themselves. The next one, UMass, University of Massachusetts, the Minutemen versus Temple. Okay, again, these team names you're probably not going to know anything about or care about, but look, UMass went 2-10 last year. Little step up from Kent State, but both those wins were against FCS teams. They did not beat a single Power 4 opponent or FBS opponent. And what's Temple? An FBS opponent. They're a Power 4. No. Are they a Power? No, they're not Power 4. They're an FBS opponent. Now, Temple went 3-9 last year. Not much better, but like, this is about to be a fist fight. I mean, these 4 games I'm listing, you're about to see some like 10-round boxing matches where it is just haymakers being thrown. I'm not joking. Like, it's like, Nate out. That Nate explodes. Then it's like the same Nate's getting thrown back somehow. Couldn't tell you how it happens. But game number 3 of my drinking game matchups / maybe I should change it. These are going to be drinking game matchups / psycho ball lovers. Psycho football lovers. Community. Pause. Game number 3, Ball State. Didn't really help myself out there. Ball State versus Purdue. Now, Ball State went 2-10 last year. Purdue, it's a well-known school. They're a basketball school. Zach Edey, he got drafted not this year, but last year. They were good for a year or two. They had Rondale Moore. Like, they were entertaining. They were a fun team. Purdue went 1-11 last year. Let's cut to the chase. Ball State, Purdue, 2-10 versus 1-11. And my last one. Both these teams significantly better Akron and Wyoming play each other on this Saturday. Both teams went 3-9. We're just gonna keep it a buck. I mean, there's no beating around the bush. There's no dressing this up. There's no dressing up that that pork, that pork butt you about to put on the grill. Ain't no seasonings don't help this thing out. These teams suck. Um, what I also noticed when I was putting these together is I made these 4 games. What was funny to me is Kent State, that first team I mentioned that went 0-12, and UMass, University of Massachusetts, the Minutemen, they play each other on October 11th, exactly a week before my birthday. That's going to be the best early birthday present ever. I've already coined it. This is the Turd Bowl. TURD, turd. This is the Turd Bowl. I'm open to other suggestions if you guys want to, maybe give me another name, another suggestion for this game in the comments. I think the Turd Bowl is perfect for now. At worst, it's a good temporary placeholder until we come up with a better one. But we got the Kent State Flashers versus the UMass Minutemen. It's the Minutemen and the Flashers. I think those two team names, you could make a good you could put them together, and just your mind can run wild. But regardless, you want to know what the common theme with all 4 of these games are? Well, they all stink. Respectfully, I mean, look at me. I didn't play college ball. 5 foot nothing. But Kent State, UMass, Ball State, and Akron are all part of the MAC conference. They're all part. Now, I did mention a little bit ago, MACtion starts when the conference play starts a couple weeks into the season. Their games are on Tuesday nights. I mean, college football, we got Tuesday night. I'm not sure if it's every week, but we've got Tuesday night, and then a lot of weeks, Thursday night, Friday night for sure, and then Saturday. College football, there's not many off days. The only consistent off day during the season, once college football and NFL get going, is Wednesday. So, mark it on your calendars. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your wife if you got one, tell your husband if you got one, tell your kids. Wednesday's the day to do everything after work, if you work. Get your chores done around the house, do date night with the wifey, do, I don't know, a play date with the kids, I don't know, get everything you need to get done on Wednesdays. Because every other night's football, baby. I mean, let's be real. Come on. We're fighting the good fight right now. I'm trying to help you guys out here. But those are my 4 drinking games / psycho football lover matchups. I really think they'll be entertaining. Some might say they could be more entertaining than those big name matchups this weekend. I'm just throwing it out there. Don't shoot the messenger, man. But we got those 4, and then also gave you a preview about a month and a half down the road of the Turd Bowl. Kent State travels to play UMass. That is going to be an electric game. But for now, we'll move away from some of the college football. I might honestly touch on it again before we end up signing off for episode 2. Not really sure yet, but I did want to now tap into the second aspect of this talk show, which is the Andy's random thoughts, or just, probably, I think Andy's random thoughts might be the best way to just coin this. It's just stuff that happens in my life as well. Recently, I wrote this down a couple weeks ago when I was making the initial, all the pod notes. But in the last couple weeks, our house, this house we're renting out, has just become infested outside with caterpillars. Not gonna lie, didn't see a single caterpillar the first 2 months I lived here. In the last 3 weeks, there's enough to there's been enough caterpillars in this backyard to take over Uganda or something. They could do a hostile takeover over one of these smaller countries, under less developed countries. I'm not joking. I'm not throwing shade at those countries at all. I mean, peace to everyone. Peace and love, brother. Peace and love. There's been so many. It's just a testament to how many caterpillars there have been in outside my house. I mean, thankfully I haven't been inside yet, or else I'm gonna have to burn the whole house down. I mean, I'm trying to figure out a way, in my spare time, to see how we can come up with a legal flamethrower, or maybe just a smaller household flamethrower. You know what I mean? That's less dangerous. Not, you know what I mean? Because I'll burn these. I will burn them. I don't want to see them anymore. I want them gone. There's so many of them. I don't really understand. I don't get it. I also have resentment towards Caterpillars because when I was young, taking another sip out of the Florida Cup, 2025-2026 college football season, Natty champs, by the way. I saw it in a dream. Like Martin Luther King said he had a dream, Andy had a dream. That dream included Florida winning a national championship. We'll see if it was true. But when I was younger, my cousins and I, we were playing tag. No. No, we were playing hide and seek. Sorry, we were playing hide and seek in our front yard of our old house, at my parents' old house. And this big old oak tree, like it was huge. I mean, it was probably about this wide. I don't even know if you can see it on the broad. It was pretty freaking wide. Um, we were playing tag, and that oak tree was our home base. So, obviously, Speedy Gonzalez over here, just kidding. That was a fat kid. That was a chubby kid. That was pretty chunky. I had a good hiding spot, so I got a head start. I got to the tree, put my hand on, said, "I'm on home base, baby. Y'all ain't got me. I'm on home base, dude. Come on." Unbeknownst to me, I put my hand right onto a caterpillar, and it stung the ever-living shit out of me. It was so painful. My mom was there. She didn't know if it was poisonous or not. Obviously, I'm like 5 years old. I didn't know if it was poisonous or not. I just knew my hand hurt, but I was safe. So we went up to the closest fire station, I think. This is what my memory is jogging. Like, we drove up to the closest fire station. It was like 10, 15 minutes down the road. I think they checked it out and said, yeah, he's fine. It's just going to be painful. They weren't lying. Like, it hurt. But what was also funny was kind of traumatizing, I think, as a kid. The caterpillar that stung, we went and got a red Solo cup out of the kitchen. Red Solo Cup, great song if you haven't heard it, by the way. If you haven't, I'm going to judge you a little bit. That's kind of odd. How have you gone this far in your life and have never heard of Red Solo Cup? But we put the caterpillar in the red Solo Cup. I had to hold it in the back of the car on the way up to the fire station. I was just sitting there crying, looking at the caterpillar in the cup, thinking like, you've caused me this much pain, and if you crawl out of this cup, I have zero self-defense knowledge. Like, I'm gonna let you sting me again, probably. But we took it to the fire station. They looked at it and said, hey, it sucks, like, it hurts, but that it's fine. Like, it's not venomous, not poisonous, whatever word you want to use for it, you're fine. He'll be okay. And I lived, still here today. Yeah, left me a scar. No, I'm just kidding. But back to the main point, caterpillars. 2 thumbs down from me. Not a fan. If AJ and Big Justice, the big boom guys, the Costco dudes, if they did like the opposite of booms, so like bah, I don't know, like instead of like that gives 5 big booms, maybe like 5 little bahs. Now, I just completely missed it. It get 5 big boos, like they just boo it. Wow, I might have to edit that out. That was terribly overlooked by me. They would give it 5 big boos. I hate caterpillars. That would be my response to caterpillars. I hate them. Whatever. Let's see. Which should I go? Let's do. We've been going for a while now. Does it say how long we've been going for? 30 minutes. Oh, well, what the? Damn, we're already 30 minutes in? I feel like the last episode was shorter than this. I covered more. That's what happened, man. They all gave me a mic and a camera and headphones, and I just start talking. That's the problem. We'll save that. I think we'll save that story for next. No. We'll do it now. Scam calls. We all get them. We all love them. Not really. Oh, my God. I got this New York Mets, Philadelphia Phillies game on the TV here in the shed. I know Joel, if you listen to this, he's a big Philadelphia Phillies fan. 2-run bomb to tie it in the 8th. I think that was Alec Bohm. Ryan Helsley pitching for the Mets. No, Harrison Bader. Sorry, Harrison Bader, 2-run bomb. Ryan Helsley pitching for the Mets. Guy throws cheddar cheese. 103 dotted. I don't know why. Since he's come to the Mets, he's been a literal dog shit. He's been horrible. Honest to God, like, I know you're in the major leagues. I don't see how in any scenario, if I ever threw 103 in my life, there's never going to be a stretch for like over a month I'm horrible. I mean, I'm going to find a way to get, and you're throwing one inning at a time. That's off topic, whatever. Back to the scam calls. I need to stop this fucking ad break or something. So because I get so off topic. I need to get some sponsors. Like, here's this ad read so I can just reset. But we don't really have an ad, so it's just me when I finally realize how much I've been rambling. But back to it. Scam calls. I get them all the time. I told one of my coworkers. I said I swear, like, they come in spurts. Like, I'll go through a couple weeks and only get maybe one or two. And then I'll go a couple weeks and I feel like I'm getting multiple every day or multiple a week. And it's aggravating, man. Most of the time they don't say anything. Sometimes, it's people posing as fake companies or fake people. And sometimes you get that. And a lot of times I'll pick up the phone, my couple buddies at work, they'll get a scam call and be like, Andy, are you busy? I'm like, no, because literally I'm not busy. I mean, what's more important than pranking a scam caller? Nothing, by the way. And I'll pick up the phone and just say some random business name, like, oh, hey, Hank's Pizzeria, we got your wings on the way. And then they'll just hang up. Or I'll just say, Andy's sex line, one hooker, $10. I'll put her on the phone. And you know what I do? I go like, and it's just me in a girl voice. I'm the hooker. Regardless, I got a scam call probably back in like October, November, I want to say. If it was in October, it was end. It was like near the end of October, November, sometime. And I got a guy who was posing. He said his name was Eric something, and I looked it up, and he was posing as the head of DHS. That's what he referred to it as, DHS. And I was like, what's DHS? And he said Department of Homeland Security. Like, he said it in a very condescending tone. I'm like, yeah, my bad, dude. I know a lot of freaking acronyms like MAC, NCAA, NFL, NHL, MLB, ISH. I'm so horny. I know a lot of acronyms. DHS was not at the top of my, I wasn't top of my brain ready to, jump out to my thought box. Can't lie. I mean, I don't, he said in a very condescending manner. I'm like, oh, I was like, how can I help you, Eric from DHS? I mean, why are you calling me at work on a random Friday afternoon? And he goes, again, these scam calls are getting kind of like way out of hand. Like, this one was crazy. And I'm not gonna lie, it took me a couple minutes to realize this dude was just yanking my, jerking my gherkin. He was yanking my leg. And that he wasn't actually real, because I looked up the dude. I looked up the head of the DHS. I looked at this dude's name, and it's some random white guy. And this guy was talking and I mean this in no offense whatsoever. Like, I don't mean this in a stereotype. He had an Indian accent. Like, it wasn't, it's a little, his English wasn't horrible. So it was a little less broken, but like, he was talking an Indian accent. So when I looked up this dude was like as white as me. And I was like, okay, this isn't adding up, like, clearly. And he goes, we received a package for you at the Mexico border, the border of Mexico, trying to cross, trying to get into the U.S. And I said, really? Like, I don't think I have anything on the way. I was like, especially from Mexico. He goes, yeah, well, you do. It was addressed to you. And I said, okay, well, what is it? And he goes, he said the package contains oxycodone. I said, wait a minute. You're telling me you're calling some random white boy from Jacksonville, Florida, and saying he's got oxy at the border trying to cross in? I'm like, and he goes, yeah. And he goes, I'm like, okay, let it through. Like, you have my approval. What do you got? Do I need to stamp it? I need to drive down? I'm like, you got my stamp of approval, buddy. Keep it going. And he goes, it's an illegal drug. So he goes, if you don't, he goes, do you know anything about this? I'm like, no, clearly I don't know anything about this. You're calling me at 10 o'clock in the morning at work. Like, no, I didn't really think I'd wake up that morning being like, God, I gotta check and see if my oxy crossed the border. You freaking idiot. Have some feel, dude. If you're gonna do a scam call, make it believable. And so he said on top of oxy, there's other narcotics, and he said there's other illegal drugs and stuff. He goes, there's other illegal drugs in there in that package. And I said, what? I said, you're telling me I got more than oxy coming to me from the border? And he goes, yes. I said, well, what is it? And he goes, well, we can't tell you. And I said, why not? And he goes, because that's classified. And I said, what do you mean it's classified? It's my package. I know what it is. In hindsight, theoretically speaking, I know what it is. I'm trying to get you to confirm to me what it is. Like, I want to know what else is in there besides my oxy, because I'm trying to know if my guy down in Mexico is jipping me and isn't shipping me my full order, because I'm going to get a refund. And I'm sorry. He goes, I don't know what to tell you. He goes, we're not telling you anything other than the oxycodone. I said, so where do you draw the line? Seriously, I don't think you understand how this works. It's my package. You're telling me it's my package, which in this scenario, drawing a box for you people that aren't watching, you're just listening to the audio. This is my house. It's coming to my house. It's my package trying to cross the border. You called me. I didn't call the Department of Homeland Security and say, hey, maybe a little bit bigger than normal box coming in from Mexico. It's going to be addressed to some gringo named Andy Yarbrough. The guy shipping it might call me Andre or Andres. Let him through. It's cool. I promise you, it's just some coffee grounds or something. I didn't call you. You called me, bitch. So now you've opened the door. You've opened the floodgates. Andy's going to have some fun now. But you called me and said it's my package. And I can't know what's in my theoretical package? Get out of here. You just leaked oxycodone. Where do we draw the line at illicit drugs? Oxycodone isn't, serious enough? But what the other stuff in the package is? The other stuff in the package, the LSD or the cocaine, that's too explicit to know. But oxycodone, we'll leak that. We'll give you that in the trailer. Get the fuck out of here, dude. So after a while, I said, dude, and he was getting very agitated. He said, look, if you don't want to work with me, that's fine. I'll just have I'll have the cops show up at your workplace in 15 minutes. I said, 15 minutes? I don't think there's a police station that close, but damn, that's pretty quick time. That's a good turnaround, dude. What kind of sources you got here? And I said, dude, look, I'm trying to work with you, man. I said, I'm trying to work with you, but I'm trying to understand what's going on right now. And clearly, I'm jerking his gherkin now. I flipped the jerkin. I flipped the gherkin. I flipped the gherkin jerkin. And I go, dude, I said, I promise, I'm trying to help you out right now, Eric, air quotes around that. I said, but I'm trying to understand, like, this package is for me. It has my name. Like, are you telling me this is coming to me or this is coming from me? The big difference. He goes, this is coming to you, Andy. He goes, you're wasting my time. And I said, I'm not trying to waste your time right now. You're wasting my time. I don't got no oxy coming to me. Like, what are we talking about? I'm about to go home and drink some beer. Not do oxycodone. And he goes, and I go, okay, so what else is in the package? He goes, I've already told you this. I've already told you this. It's classified. He goes, you know what? Whatever. This, you're clearly wasting my time. We're getting nowhere. I'm just going to have the cops show up at your house. And I said, dude, I'm trying to help you right now. You're just being a complete asshat. Verbatim, I said, you're just being a complete asshat right now. He goes, oh, really? He goes, I'm being the asshat? I said, yeah, that's what I just said. I mean, I think that might be the one thing we're on the same page on, is that you're being an asshat. And he goes, I'm not being an asshat, you're being an asshole. I said, okay, Eric, now you're going to cuss at me from DHS? Like, get out of here, dude. He goes, that's fine. He goes, that's fine. He said, don't try to call me back when the cops show up at your place in 10 minutes. I said, wait a minute, 15 minutes, not 2 minutes later, it's 10 minutes. Were these motherfuckers on the way already? Did you have these troops on the way? Like, these troopers were on the way? I said, all right, dude, yeah, that's cool. You're gonna get the city police department to come try to arrest the drug lord Andy, the gringo drug lord. Get out of here, bro. You ever seen Ozark? Get out of here, dog. Come on. You gotta send the freaking militia at me. Come on. Whew. That was a great story. I think I'm going very far over what I was intending on. We're at 44 minutes. I think we're gonna go ahead. I had a couple smaller things on the agenda. I think we're gonna push them to the next episode, because I think if I get going on those, we'll go over an hour easily. Maybe push it an hour and a half at that point. And not gonna lie, 10 o'clock at night, I need to try to get to bed at some point, respectable, because I gotta get as much rest as I can tonight and tomorrow night, because I got Thursday night football, Friday night football, Saturday afternoon, Saturday night football, Sunday, couple games Sunday. I just remembered literally an hour ago, right before I started recording, that I'm off on Monday for Labor Day, and there's also a game on Monday. I mean, I don't even know what to say right now. I'm so excited. Um, Regardless, we got a couple smaller topics that I'm gonna push to the next episode. But I did forget. I made a note of it today when I was at work when Joel broke the news. Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift engaged. I know this should have been number one headlines for this show. My bad for this episode. Should have been number one headline. That's on me. I'll take the blame for it. I'm trying not to be mainstream. I'm trying to people put it at the top because they're trying to get clicks and stuff. I'm gonna put it at the back to see who's the real listeners. You know what I mean? Or watchers if you're on the YouTube, seeing my pretty, not pretty face. Just seeing me. Congrats to those two. I guess I don't know. They're never gonna know me. I'm never gonna know them. But it did lead me to a couple of Andy thoughts. One is if unfortunately they don't get married, even though they're engaged, you know what I mean? If it kind of falls apart or something, or if they do get married, and down the road things maybe don't work out and they get a divorce, Taylor Swift fans are going to be, distraught because their icon got divorced and she's heartbroken. But the Travis Kelce inspired divorce album it's going to be generational. I don't think you guys understand. I mean, she's had songs that hate on people like exes and stuff. There's going to be maybe like a 40-song album that might come out, and I might have to give it a listen. I might have to listen to it live on the pod, just on the talk show, not the pod. I might have to listen to it live and just appreciate the greatness. But there's another one. Another question I thought of is, is Taylor Swift's last name actually Swift? Like, is she like any relation to DeAndre Swift, the former Georgia running back that's on the Bears now? I'm trying to ask a hard-hitting questions right here that people don't want to ask. I'm trying to ask the uncomfortable questions. Is she any relation to DeAndre Swift? Actually, for 1A, is her last name actually Swift, or is that just like the show name? The author, the singer name. And B, if it is Swift, so like if this is yes, we move down to this one. Any relation to DeAndre? I gotta know. If it's not, whatever. So be it. It's cool. Last question before we sign off for the night. I might try to do another pod either before the weekend, like a Friday night, or because I know I did the first episode on a Friday night. We either might do it on a Friday night, or I might wait to do a Monday off. I might wait till Sunday night to record, to recap all of the college football games that went on that weekend. What went on in Andy's life that weekend. I'm going to spoil it. Probably nothing besides drink some beer and watch some football. I'm going to be honest right now. It sounds like the great weekend. But last question. If they do get married, if/when, I'm not trying to be a hater, who takes whose last name? I know traditionally the guy takes the girl's last name, but like, it's Taylor Swift. I mean, that's Taylor Swift we're talking about here. Like, this is one of the most famous people of all time. Like Travis Swift kind of, it rolls off the tongue. Like, if you're driving to work right now, say it 5 times fast. Travis Swift, Travis Swift, Travis Swift, Travis Swift, Travis Swift. It rolls off the tongue. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes her last name. I think that would, make him very marketable. He could become even more famous than he is now. You know what I mean? I just a couple of Andy thoughts I was throwing out. That was just a throwaway topic end of the episode, so you still listening. It's kind of I think it's kind of entertaining. The inner mechanisms of my mind, I think, are entertaining. But regardless, overall, I think we touched on some great topics this episode. Lot of exciting things to look forward to this weekend, just coming up in general. Leave your reviews in the comments. I don't know how this works. If you're on YouTube, leave the comments, subscribe. I don't really care. Do whatever you want. If you listen to it, that's all I care about, really. Let me know how you're liking the pod. And also, I forgot to mention this last episode, but going forward, if you have suggestions for what you want me to talk about, questions for me that you want me to answer on the pod, drop them in the comments. Text me if you have my number. I don't care. That's fine with me. I encourage it. I would love more content to talk about, Anyways, calling it quits, guys. I gotta really pee. So I'm cutting this off. Love you guys. Have a good one.